Hello, everybody. My name is Drake, and I'm joined by Quacks here with week 4 of Risen Dominate. We did miss out on week 3. We took a little bit of a hiatus. We missed out on the winning formula playing against, I believe it was, sorry about that. It was JHV Blue Jays. Winning
Yep.
formula did end up winning that series 2-1. And that doesn't mean that both teams are tied now in the standings. But enough about them. Gentle Hearts Gaming are playing against Insomnia today. Insomnia have gone 2-1 so far in this season of Risen Dominate. But we are looking at a full, flawless Gentle Hearts Gaming. No losses on the board. Absolute behemoth on that side. Quacks, how are we feeling about today's games?
Really, really good. I think that obviously these two teams are at the top of their table when it comes to the standings. Like you said, Insomnia on the blue side, by the way, they are 2-1. Gentle Hearts Gaming, incredibly storied org, currently competing in the OQs. They are 3-0. And both teams have shown, massive colors when it comes to their play style. In particular, though, I feel like Gentle Hearts Gaming have a very interesting style of play if you look at their players. In particular, they really love playing around Two Puff Patty, their jungler, and Potatoes, their mid laner. And I'm really hoping that they didn't change their names because I have been a victim of that far too many times with the Risen games. Yeah, they're much more, get side lane prio early, allow Tooth Puff Patty to pick sort of these aggressive champions, things like the Graves, things like the Brand, and maybe even something like the Nidalee, the newly buffed Nidalee, who is soon to be nerfed. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that come out as well. And then on the other side, you have Insomnia, much more front to back style heavy. They really like to have their mid laner, Hayuto, I hope I'm not mispronouncing that, be on a scaling pick. Meanwhile, only Pappy and Buried, their top laner and their ADC, much more of a carry role. So I'm expecting both of these teams to play to those strengths because that is what got them this far, and it's what's going to try to net them this all-important win here in week 4.
Yeah, and I mean, I think something that we should be focusing on at the moment, right, is going to be that draft because that's coming up on our screens very, very shortly.
Mm-hmm.
And when we're talking about that, obviously, it looks like we might be getting into draft right now. I'm sure. Sounds like we're. But either way, despite whether we're ready or not, when we're talking about draft, you were talking about how these two teams have very different play styles, and we do see the draft coming up on our screens. Looks like it's been
Oh,
fully sorted out. So I guess it's gonna be a little bit. All right, I'm trying to catch up really, really quickly. Maokai is gonna be support, perhaps. Vi jungle. We are back to the caster's desk. I'm not sure what's going on.
yeah. While
Either
while
way,
we're
go
yeah,
on.
go ahead, Drake. Oh,
Okay,
we're in.
looks like we haven't finished draft yet. That's going on as we speak. But what I was going to say is that Gentle Hearts Gaming, right, you said have a very different playstyle coming into this
Mm-hmm.
series. Insomnia have a very different playstyle from them as well. And that does blend into draft right, where the carry champions are going to be allocated, that matters in the draft. So I think the bans are what's really important this game because neither team is really going to be contesting the same champion.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, very different styles in terms of playing. In particular, I mean, we could just look simply at the junglers, right? I think they're the most obvious case. Simply BD, the jungler for Insomnia, is much more tank-oriented. Things like the Sejuani, like the Maokai, which has been a favorite of Insomnia. They really like to flex that Maokai around him for good reason. One of the stronger champions in the current meta. But usually they'll put their jungler and their support, for that matter, on engaged champions, on champions that like to start fights, Sej, Maokai, and on the support side you have things like Rakan that are also available. And then on Gentle Hearts Gaming side, you have Lost in Japan, who usually likes to play more mage heavy sort
Yeah,
of poke
enchanters for
champions.
sure.
Right, you have things like the Karma, things that work well with other poke ADCs like the Caitlyn, just to generate that priority, right? They really want to make sure that the jungler in Two Puff Patty can move into the enemy jungle, put as much pressure on that side of the map as humanly possible, and come out of that laning phase as strong as he can be. So I'm really looking at them to play around, probably first pick in the bot lane. I would expect that Gentle Hearts Gaming in particular want to get those bot laners out of the way as we do finally move into draft. Camille going to be taken off the table by Insomnia.
Yeah, and it does look like B1 ban did get taken away by Gentle Hearts Gaming. Either they missed it or maybe showed up a little bit late, so had some sort of competitive ruling where they don't have the ban. I'm not sure. They might be missing out on the second one as well, since it does look
Mm-hmm.
like they're losing a lot of time there. But despite that, Camille is going to be that first ban, like you said. I don't think that's going to be towards Lost in Japan. It's not going to be a Camille support ban, so taking that away from Win with a Smile. And like you said, there are a couple of different champions that Win with a Smile like play that do the carrying. Camille is one of them. Viego also gets banned away from
Mm-hmm.
Two Puff Patty. I think we could see some spicy stuff in this game, right? Brand is something that Two Puff Patty plays a little bit of, has played in the past, played in. Udyr in the top side as well could be something that's coming out from Miles. So I'm definitely expecting some spicy stuff. Is that, is that a Karthus ban? I can't even see what that
Yep, I
is.
think it is. Yeah,
Okay, so they
so
finally got one ban.
yep. So it looks like maybe there is an e-sub or something on the side of Insomnia that usually is the main reason for losing two bans. But yeah, on the other side, you can see a lot of these aggressive takes, a lot of these aggressive picks rather, taken away by Insomnia. And I really like that you mentioned the Udyr pick by Win with a Smile. That has been his premier champion basically throughout the entire season of Risen. He's really like to play these good weak side top laners. And if things like the Udyr are taken off the table, then you'll have things like the Scion, I believe, is something that we saw. I wouldn't be surprised if he picks up something like the Ornn to help a little bit with that scaling. And on the blue side, it is just going to be the instant lock in here for the Senna on Gentle Hearts Gaming side. So really indexing into that range that we talked about, that scaling range is something that Senna really does nicely into. I'm really curious to see what they're going to pair with this because you could pair an enchanter like Karma or even Seraphine up with the Senna, but you could also pair something a little bit more aggressive. Something like the Nautilus, I think, also works along with Senna. And on the other side, Insomnia actually going to index into that Hui, a flex pick, actually.
Yeah, they do lock in the Hue. Like you said, it can go into multiple lanes. I feel like it has a little bit more prevalence in the mid lane, but it does look like Karma has also been picked up. So a two-way flex. You can't really know which lane each one is going to until they finally decide at the end of the draft here. So definitely some interesting pickups coming out
Mm-hmm.
from Insomnia. Gentle Hearts Gaming kind of have to just choose what they're comfortable with at this point. They can't really choose what they're laning against. So they have the Senna, like you said, maybe some aggression. You obviously can't match the push that's coming out from Karma or Hui if they are the supports in that bottom lane. Looks like
Ooh.
Orianna is going to get picked up mid lane. They're happy to play that into either champion. And I have seen that as an answer to Karma lately. So maybe that's just the reason. I'm not sure. But definitely works very well with Two Puff Patty's champion.
It does, but I feel like Oriana, like you said, is definitely sort of on the receiving end of getting pushed in by Karma. It feels like this definitely is Karma owning the lane for a little bit, which is not something that we usually see from Gentle Hearts Gaming. They usually play something very poke heavy and very aggressive in the mid lane. At least something that can really benefit from those sort of jungle 2v2s along with the mid laner. And I feel like Oriana is a little bit more picky on who she gets to have those sort of mid jungle 2v2s with, those skirmishes, especially. But curiously enough, Gentle Heart's actually not opting to go for the jungle pick. Instead, going to pair that Senna up with the Nami. So Gentle Hearts seems like they're really drafting outside of what we usually see from them, which makes for definitely an interesting game.
Yeah, that's definitely an just interesting one. Not to mention the Tristana on the right side of our screens. That's an interesting one in itself. I haven't seen her that much lately, but I guess gonna be put into either mid or bottom lane as well. So a three-way flex on the side of Insomnia. You can't see where any of these champions are going at the moment. Udyr does get banned away
Hmm.
by the side of Gentle Hearts Gaming. I wonder if these two teams are swapped because I know that Afro, Gentle Hearts Gaming's mid laner, has played Tristana mid in the past. So uh, maybe they're just stealing from each other and banning the Udyr away from the other team. Even though I haven't really seen Only Poppy play it that much, but maybe Udyr is highly contestable at the moment. I don't know.
I mean,
Looks like
yeah,
the Vi and the Zac. Sorry.
Udyr is highly contested simply because he is a good top lane pick that does well into the laning phase and offer a lot of push. And is just self-sufficient, right? Udyr has that self-sustain to be able to stay in the lane for a long time. So it's no wonder that they take that away. Just simply because it could be a pick to be used against Gentle Hearts Gaming. They don't want to risk that being used against them in a way. But interestingly enough, Renekton is also still open. I actually would like to see maybe a Renekton Nidalee combo, or a Renekton with a champion that has a skill shot that's hard to land. So things like Nidalee, things like Lee Sin are even possible. I think that could be really cool if Gentle Hearts Gaming pulls that one out. But they are a little bit heavy on AP. I feel like Gentle
They
Hearts
definitely
doesn't
are.
want more
Yeah.
than Oriana and Nami. I feel like
Poppy?
is enough. But on the other side, yeah, Poppy going to be locked in. Is this the same team, Drake?
I don't know, man. I'm so confused. Like they're just indexing away from what they're used to playing. The opposite team is literally stealing everything that obviously we've seen from Gentle Hearts so far. But maybe they're both showing that they have two sides of the coin that they can pull out in this series. Right, we are near the end of the Risen Dominate season, so definitely time to start pulling out all the stops. It's an important game. You only have a few more games left of the season, so Insomnia want to be able to try and pick this one up. Silas would be a really good angle here. I mean, a lot of good ultimates from the other
Yeah.
side. Really good answer to Malphite. I'm not sure if
Hmm.
they're going to lock it in, but I
Absolutely.
definitely like what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I mean, Silas can steal the Unstoppable Force, can steal the Shockwave, the Tidal Wave. There are a lot of good ultimates that
Poppy
Silas can
ult
use this
even.
game. Yeah, even that, to get potentially the Poppy away from an objective and
Yeah.
really make that's those sort of mid to late game smite steals more in the favor of Insomnia. But my big question, now that we have concluded the draft, that Silas is locked in, where is the damage from this Gentle Hearts Gaming squad? It feels like you have drafted absolutely no damage, and you're against Karma, Hui, Tristana, Silas. These champions deal a lot. And sure, you have a decent amount of tankiness, but man, during team fights, I just cannot see a way in which Gentle Hearts Gaming can deal enough damage to kill Jarvan in particular. It feels like some of these tankier members of Insomnia toward that late game are going to be so difficult to take down. And Gentle Hearts, they're just playing a different style, something that we haven't seen before, in particular with Two Puff Patty playing a more facilitator heavy champion on that Poppy. So I'm really interested to see how that plays out. This is a new style coming out from this squad, and I don't doubt that they can play it. But these late game team fights, it just feels like it's going to be so hard for them to play with the lack of damage their comp has.
I mean, you say late game, but obviously when you look over to the side of Gentle Hearts Gaming, you have a lot of scaling. Senna is
You
autoing from
do.
two screens away in the late game, you know? Oriana's one-shotting enemy squishy. Maybe not Karma. Maybe Hui or Tristana, you know? Silas if he missteps. There's angles, I'm sure. And it is a
Mhm.
standard 5v5 front-to-back team comp, right? You have two damage dealers, you have an enchanter, you have two really heavy frontline champions, so I mean, it is what we saw maybe back in season three, but I definitely think that team comps have developed since then, and I'm liking what I'm seeing a little bit more on the side of Insomnia. I don't want to just like
Yeah.
fully agree with you here, but a little bit of devil's advocate. There are avenues for Gentle Hearts Gaming, and One of those is not the early game. So I think that's definitely
Yeah.
something we need to be focusing on. Insomnia, if they are able to get the ball rolling early game, right? J4, notoriously known for his early game plays, Silas as well, not to mention how much Silas can snowball if he does get ahead in that early game. So I think where we need to be watching, maybe Hyuto in that mid lane, maybe watching the jungle matchup, which we talked about before the draft, right? These junglers
Hmm.
are so volatile. So it's definitely, I think, a focus on the early game, how much Insomnia can actually get from it, and if they can't get enough, Gentle Hearts Gaming, they've proven. I mean, 3-0 in this season so far. I mean, they have proven that they can really put the guns down when they need to. So I would be worried if it gets to 20 minutes and all three dragons aren't in Insomnia's back pocket.
I mean, absolutely. I agree with you. I think Gentle Hearts Gaming, you might look at the draft and you might have a little bit less faith in this team, being like, oh, this team is 3-0, but this draft is a little bit on, I would say, the weaker side. But Gentle Hearts Gaming, one thing that I've learned about them is that you have to trust the process, right? This has been an org that's been in the pro scene of League for a really long time. So they know what they're doing. So if they trust the process, then I trust in them. We'll see. We'll have to see what they do. But before we see how they do and how this first game of week 4 of the Risen Dominate League steps up, we are going to take a small little break while we wait for the game to catch up to us. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more League of Legends. We'll see you soon.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Risen Dominate Week 4. I'm joined by Quacks. My name is Drake, and we're here to see the Gentle Hearts Gaming take on Insomnia. Gentle Hearts Gaming currently lossless in this season of Risen Dominate, and Insomnia looking to make that a little bit of a different statistic. Two Puff Patty walking in with his team right now. Quacks, you see anything else unorthodox besides the fact that 3 members of the enemy team are running into Gentle Hearts Gaming space?
Yeah, there's a few keystone choices on the side of Gentle Hearts Gaming that I am really curious about. In particular, the Arcane Comet coming out from Goodest ADC. That's not something super unorthodox, but it does feel like it provides a little less poke. It feels like this is going to be a poke battle down here in the bot lane. So Arcane Comet can help, but I feel like Airy might be better in this scenario. Also, you can see Afro with the Hail of Blades. So that is telling me that this Tristana looking to go a little bit aggressive, looking to make sure that they are going to be fighting as much as possible. And you want to know what's a little bit funny, Drake, is that we were talking about how Gentle Hearts Gaming, they were going for something a little bit unorthodox.
Yeah.
I think the teams are actually swapped. Gentle Hearts Gaming is on the blue side.
Bro, I told you. Oh my goodness. All right, everyone, it's okay, but don't look at GHG and ISM in the top. It's fine. It's wrong, but that's okay. We make mistakes just as Rido makes mistakes, and they did last week. You know, Spectator just literally wasn't even allowed last week, so don't blame us. We're a little bit rusty. But it does look like on the left side is going to be Insomnia, and Gentle Hearts Gaming is going to be on the red side, playing what we thought they were used to playing. But either way, Tristana mid, Clay, Karma, this is still unorthodox as heck. Like, I haven't seen these 3 champions flexed in this way before. So it's definitely some interesting stuff, as well as the Sylas, right? I thought Sylas was going mid no matter what. I was wrong. Yuto getting a lot of damage done to him, but I mean, this is definitely the makings of a game where anything I take away from it is not going to be exactly set in stone. Like nothing, no takeaways for the for Gentle Hearts for Gentle Hearts in this game. Wait, I'm so dizzy with the team names. Okay, Gentle Hearts is on the right?
I think so. Yes.
Okay.
Gentle Hearts is on the right, Insomnia is on the left. I think we got it fixed now. We're finally, we are Barack, if you will. But I like that you actually brought up the Malphite versus the Sylas lane. I think there was a statistic done somewhere in like Reddit where they said that Sylas versus Malphite was the most one-sided matchup in the entire game, with Sylas losing like 2/3 of the time. This is an incredibly Malphite favored lane, and I mean, you can see it already. Usually you won't see Malphite be the one pushing into the enemy team's tower, but here we are, Win with a Smile, completely under his turret, giving only Pappy the opportunity to just take a free reset. He gets a little bit of a cheater recall in there right away, only missing 1 minion, so good farming coming out from this Malphite early on. Curiously enough, though, 2Puff Patty, with all this mid priority, hasn't made an aggressive move, but now has finished his full clear and might be looking to go for a bot gank. There are no wards put down here by Insomnia.
I mean, it looks like he is going to make his way into the lane. The EQ, it does land the knock-up, and it is first blood to the Karma. Fake Smile, going to have a real smile on his face for that one.
Yeah.
Oh, real under threat.
Whoa.
Go on, though.
Yeah, so that is just going to be a kill coming out there from Insomnia. A little bit unfortunate that Fake Smile was the one to pick that one up, but Karma is a champion that, you know, given them enough resources, they will still deal a ton of damage, and that at the end of the day is what you pick Karma for, I feel, in this meta. A lot of people will say, oh, you pick her for the shields, you pick her for the sustain and the lane, and all the utility she provides. At the moment, it feels like enchanters, especially ones that can build items like Malignants, you simply want them for the damage, and that is exactly what happened. There just was no time for the Senna to react, and they just got blown up. Couldn't flash, couldn't ghost, so cleanly executed by Gentle Hearts Gaming. They'll just continue moving on, continue pushing their lead forward, and now with the wave bounce back top lane, I wonder if 2Puff Patty maybe looks for these grubs.
It did look like only Poppy was able to freeze it, though. Oh, not quite able to freeze that wave, but I mean, you weren't getting this in the super dominant lane for the Malphite. It's kind of ridiculous. Sylas has a couple of these lanes. I'm going to be honest, it's not just the Malphite. I played Sylas in the Shen one time. I did not want to play the video game for a week. It was just so horrible. I E'd in, my autos didn't matter. Turns out Silas, a lot of his damage is actually auto attacks.
Yeah.
Which is something you don't realize until you play against Malphite or Shen.
Absolutely, it's definitely a case of learning the hard way. When you play with Silas, he very much is he very much is black and white with his matchups, and I feel like Malphite very much is one of those tougher ones. But you can see Simply BD hovering in this pixel bush, but the wave is just not in a state for this Poppy to gank at all. Yeah, has to fall back. And now you can see 2 Puff Patty and Afro potentially on the hunt for any picks, but they will be spotted out by a
Afro has
ward.
a flank. Afro does have a flank. We're watching the fight bot lane for now. Looks like Senna will be able to get out. Simply BD, luckily, I think dodged Tristana unintentionally by moving down to back up his ADC and support.
Oh no, Afro.
Afro, this TP, no, Simply's just gonna cancel it. Surely. Okay, but does he die for it? That's the real question. He does have W, so the steadfast presence
Afro's going in.
Oh, he is going in. No way he's able to find anything here, surely. Toshe trying to find his way out. The send to W does land. Simply BD very low. Looks like a flash away will save his life, but I mean, a very close skerfuffle in that bottom lane, but a lost TP for Afro. Definitely winning out is the side of Insomnia for that one.
Definitely, that is not something that you want to see with the Tristana lane. And now I have to be thinking that Simply BD wants to maybe look for something in the mid lane. We talked a little bit about it in the draft, but Poppy definitely is a good pickup into this Gentle Hearts gaming squad. A lot of engage has come out, particularly from this mid jungle duo who like to go aggressive so much. We talked a lot about that in the draft. But being able to simply cut away Tristana's biggest means of escape could be really valuable. So I really want to see Simply BD hover around this mid lane, especially now that the Shockwave is available for Hayuto. I think that that's an easy lockdown kill. You can at least burn the flash from Afro, if not get a kill.
Yeah, and that's obviously assumed Afro doesn't get the perfect buffer W, which I've experienced so many times as a jungler when I try to gank Tristana. But
Me too.
you know, when you're Wing in like this, it's definitely gankable. So we'll have to see. Simply BD not quite in the area for now. I'm gonna look for that Grubby, I think, at the moment. Gonna try and pick up a neutral objective on the opposite side, but Tristana's moving. He doesn't have priority.
He does have prio.
I don't know, this looks a little dicey. We're obviously watching the bottom lane as well, though. Tosh in
Ooh,
danger, has to flash away. The EQ does actually land with the flash. A good knock up onto Tosh. And he will not quite die. He will die to the Hui in the end. It looks like Senna's very low as well. The tick of the Ignite will secure the kill for Fake Smile. And in the meantime, does look like Poppy will secure her grubs. But a massive double kill for Gentle Hearts Gaming.
What an amazing flash EQ there from 2 Puff Patty. They secure the double kill. And now 2 kills on the Karma, 1 on the Hui. This bot lane for Gentle Hearts Gaming, they are going full steam ahead. Sure, they lose the grubs, but that doesn't matter. None of the lanes on Insomnia have really had the opportunity to push up, really make use of that extra damage that can be done with the Touch of the Void. So sure, you get the gold, but you're not going to really be getting plays with this. These lanes that GHD have drafted are so good at simply denying any kind of push from Insomnia, and we're seeing it here with how much pressure 2 Puff Patty is putting on these side lanes.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Tristana will have the shoving priority always in this lane just because of the nature of Tristana, but yeah, along with Hui and Karma, the wave clear is kind of nonsensical. And we didn't quite catch it on our screens, but Orianna did burn Flash earlier on due to a gank from Karma. So Fake Smile making even more of an impact on the map than just in that bottom lane. Yuto going to be under a lot of threat for the remainder of the next 4-5 minutes. Big root in the bottom lane, but obviously there's no real damage or kill threat in this bottom lane. Senna Nami is not going to be doing nearly enough to Karma Hui ever. In this lane to threaten a kill, I would have to assume, so really good stuff. Oh, looks like J4's in this bottom lane.
No flash
Lindsay
onto
Q, the
Senna.
Catapult Limit does land. Senna has no way out. Surely she just falls and Hui ends up picking up that one. Really well played by the goodest ADC on an APC at the moment. And it's just win after win for Gentle Hearts Gaming.
And yeah, I believe Drak is how I'm gonna pronounce the name. Honestly, some of these names they always change for me. It gets kind of annoying, but yeah, I mean this is an AD Senna, right? So you are killing the minions. You're not getting the souls at the same pace as support Senna, so that is something to consider. This scaling pick, really this big carry champion that Insomnia are hoping to get to the late game, it's going to take longer, especially with how many times and how many times the Sen has died and how much pressure has been put on this bot lane of Insomnia. So really like what I'm seeing from Gentle Hearts Gaming. They are attacking the clear win con from Insomnia, really making them, you know, pay forever overstepping. And now we have a potential scrap in the top lane. With the Smile taking a little bit of damage.
Yeah, I mean, talking about overstepping, it looks like only Poppy is trying to punish Win with a Smile, but, well, we have gotten past the early game with the Malphite Sylas matchup, and it looks like Sylas did manage to get around even farm, so he's going to start slowly winning out in these trades, I feel like, because Malphite does tend to build a little bit more armor than he does MR, and Sylas starts obviously doing some AP. Tosh finds a good bubble, a root as well coming up. Doesn't look like there's going to be any more follow-up, however, and that's the story of a Senna lane. We don't have any kill potential.
Yeah, I mean, they get a little bit of damage, but it doesn't matter. I mean, you can see 2Puff Patty, he is in the tri-bush again, just putting so much pressure on this Jarvan. This is exactly how you play the champion. Dratch and Tosh have just not been able to play this game so far.
I mean, I know you don't have to farm on Senna, but surely it feels a little bit better to do so when you don't have the support item. I'm just saying. But yeah, like you said, playing Jarvan perfectly, just standing there menacingly. That's his entire job, and he's doing it very, very well.
And it's only going to get worse for the bot lane of Insomnia. You can see that Archangel Staff is completed for the goodest ADC. So now it's just full index into damage.
Oh, big TP.
Yeah,
looks like it's Win with a Smile coming in with a Smile to get a big Malphite ultimate onto enemy. Senna finds the E onto Tosh. Tosh has no way out. He's stuck in the Cataclysm. Who are they going to give it to? They're just playing with their food at this point. A double kill for the goodest ADC in the bot lane for Gentle Hearts Gaming.
Gentle Hearts Gaming, they make a big play on the bot lane, but a little bit overkill it feels like, because now only Pappy, he's going to get a massive wave into the top lane. It didn't feel like you needed to commit 4 members down there, but 2 kills are 2 kills. They give it over to goodest ADC, who is continuing to farm these plates. And they get the dragon on top of it, so it is Gentle Hearts Gaming all the way. They give up a couple of plates, but they get so much in return.
Yeah, they definitely do. Obviously, they got a couple of plates off the back of it as well, like you mentioned. Oh, the center root didn't quite stop the recall for the goodest AC. Lucky for him. But yeah, obviously they got a ton off the back of that. Now they're on Dragon's Soul point. And Win with Smell, obviously not too upset about missing a singular wave. Still nearly even, only 2 waves behind. In the grand scheme of things, that's... Okay, wait, we have a dive coming out from Afro. Oh, a massive oblivion! Oh, really well played. The shockwave, Hyoto did very, very well. Kept his flash as well and traded 1 for 1. I'm sure he's not too mad about it.
Yeah, I mean, especially with Hyoto, this is a lane where you are going to be oppressed as the Orianna, right? Tristana basically owns this lane. It's made only worse by the fact that there is a hail of blades on this Tristana mid pick as well, just furthering that aggression that this pick wants to go for. So yeah, a 1 for 1, certainly not bad for Hyoto over here in this mid lane, especially when you consider that he's actually up CS on this Orianna. Somehow through all the pressure, he has managed to maintain a relatively even gold stat with this Tristana, which is definitely a win for Insomnia as a whole, as this Orianna is going to scale up, get those 2 to 3 items as holy damage from a goodest ADC, but he's surrounded.
Tosh barely able to find his way out. From literally Narnia, by the way. This attack range from Hui is insane, and it does look like all 6 grubs did get picked up for the side of Insomnia, so they got something as a consolation prize. Looks like they're not going to be picking up this Rift Herald, however. 2Puff Patty doing very well to secure that one, and looks like it will be heading towards the mid lane as 4 members of GHG converge on this tower.
And I mean, it is kind of going to be interesting to see where they place the tower. They're actually going to place it.
No, this is insane. They're going to get 2 charges. They get a second charge. I mean, if Herald doesn't die immediately, you will see it.
Wait, but 2Puff Patty's just dead.
Yeah, well, that was a suicide mission.
I mean,
Looks like Insomnia responded well. You know, all 4 members
Yeah.
did end up, or 3 members, I guess, is all it took to move mid lane, and singular Nami ultimate. Really well played from Insomnia to punish a little bit of an overextend. A lot of damage coming out from both of these mid laners. Obviously, Tristana will be coming online now that she has that Kraken Slayer completed. But Oriana not looking too bad, holding her own.
Yep, for the most part, Kyoto, it kind of feels like this Oriana is going to be the spark of hope that Insomnia need to keep alive, and luckily they have a lot of sort of conduits on the rest of the squad to be able to get these big shockwaves, right? You have the really big unstoppable force mixed with shockwave combo that you can pull off later on in this game. But so far, it feels like Gentle Hearts Gaming are stopping a lot of these team fights, a lot of these big, 3 to 4 man skirmishes before they can even start by just getting some of these earlier picks on these, with these champions like Jarvan, like Karma, who are so good at catching out stragglers. So it's going to be up to Insomnia to stay together, really never get isolated in this mid to late
One of the
game.
smile finds the E. Yuto under threat. There's nothing left though. Silas has no cooldowns. He has to walk away. But yeah, I mean that's
right there.
Oh, forgot. Oh, the damage and the Senna getting outranged is a sad sight to see. I'm just gonna be honest. The flash away barely secures his safety. But yeah, I definitely agree with you, Quax. And I think we can't lose sight of the fact that even in draft we were saying the team on the right side of our screens. Obviously, earlier in draft we were saying it was Insomnia, but Gentle Hearts do have the early game prowess, right? They have the champions that really thrive in the early game, and we want to see them dominating this early game, and that's the only way that they can play it if they want to be able to win this one. So it is kind of down to this mid-game, down to how Insomnia play maybe third Dragon if they end up securing it off of a slight misstep from Gentle Hearts, and I think that's definitely where the eyes need to be, because obviously both teams have played exactly how, or at least the game itself has played out exactly how we would have expected between these 2 drafts. But I think what matters is what comes in like the next 5-8 minutes, because if Gentle Heart Gaming get slightly off the pedal, if they start pushing on the gas a little bit less, start accelerating the game a little bit less, it's definitely an avenue for Insomnia to come back in and really take over.
You can see there, even Insomnia just now, they committed 2 members over to the top lane, and yeah, a lot of damage coming out from Pui, but those 2 members in the top lane, the Poppy and the Oriana, I mean, they're committed down to that top side, so this gives... Oh, hang on.
What the heck was I watching? Hui was knocked up for so long. Looks like he won't quite die. Really good disengage coming out, and a double knock-up from the Silas. Looks like only Poppy will be falling along with his jungler. Don't you mention Yuto in the mid lane. Afro said, you know what? I am the better mid laner at the moment. I have outscaled you because it's mid-game. And really well played from Gentle Heart. They took our suspicions and threw it right back into our mouths.
And goodest ADC said, call an ambulance, but not for me. This way, still deathless in this game, 5-0-4. And with 3 members down, they take a turret. They're going to pivot onto this dragon. They now have a 5k gold lead. Gentle Hearts Gaming playing to their strengths, going aggressive. And it is paying off in droves here in game number 1 as they stomp the competition. Insomnia looking more and more desperate as the minutes tick by.
And I mean, I wouldn't even say that it was them going on the aggressive end, you know? Like, Insomnia pulled the trigger. I don't know why. Obviously, we talked about the fact that Triple Dragons is rough for them, but we also talked about the fact that based on their team comp, they weren't ever able to fight it. And on top of like 8 kills behind, 4,000 gold. Obviously, it was a little bit less before 3 random kills were donated, but we knew that Insomnia wasn't going to be able to win that. So I guess only Poppy just looking for any sort of pick that he could find, but it just wasn't quite enough. Obviously, Malphite Poppy damage is not going to be enough to one-shot away. So very depressing moment for the side of Insomnia, and just over-eager, in my opinion. They needed to play towards the Senna, towards the Oriana, and they need to keep playing towards those 2 champions if they want to be able to win out in this team fight.
Not to mention, they didn't have any vision in that bot side either, right? They didn't know any of the members of Gentle Hearts Gaming were down in that bot side jungle, and they paid for it, right? They did not have vision of the rest of the team, and the rest of the team just completely collapsed on them, and now with this pressure that they've exerted in the mid lane, they got the wave to a good position. They're just going to take control of this top side and find this Malphite.
Surely he just walks away. Yeah, it does look like he's able to manage to get out of that one. Oriana Shockwave almost pulls Afro in closer. Yuto, you just one-on-one from death, and he does end up dying. Really well played by Afro. Obviously, it's just Tristana and Orianna at this stage in the game, but it's good to see that we're playing the matchup correct.
And now a beautiful 4-1 split coming out from GHG. They've committed all the members to this top lane, just letting Afro on this Tristana destroy these towers. They're going in.
Yeah, it gets blocked by the Steadfast Presence. Tosh once again has that Hui mark on top of her. Looks like Nami will be making her way out of this one without being Sushi. And yeah, I mean, it's just full-on pressure coming out from Gentle Hearts Gaming. They're not letting loose on the gas exactly how we wanted them to be playing if they were to secure themselves a victory here. And Soul Point, 2 minutes and 50 seconds till that next dragon. And they're moving towards a big purple worm.
A lot of resets just came out from Insomnia as well. They knew that they needed to deal with this Tristana. The Tristana just keeps going in.
Okay, man, this guy is a menace. Yuto doesn't quite die to the massive ultimate coming up from Tristana. A huge Malphite ultimate does come out. Senna's dead. Holy Poppy, where did your health bar go, man? I thought you were a tank. He's trying to find his way out. He does barely manage to do so. But a lot of damage coming out from the side of Gentle Hearts, and I don't think Insomnia can contest. It's a free Baron over to the side of Gentle Heart.
I mean, a lot of members, only Pappy, their biggest source of frontline, is completely neutralized from the fight. Doesn't have TP up either, but Gentle Hearts Gaming probably think that this Malphite does have TP. They're going to respect the amount of collapse that Insomnia's comp has. Just gonna back off the Baron. They don't want to play
he
it.
does get the kill.
He gets him!
Yeah, Afro managed to pick up that kill. Really well played by him. But yeah, like you were saying, Gentle Hearts didn't have enough damage, obviously, without that Tristana, without that steady source of damage to be able to take down the Baron. And, I mean, they still are utterly controlling the enemy jungle, right? All of the enemy vision in that top side. Dragon is spawning in quite a short amount of time now. When Tristana finally respawns, Dragon will be on 1 minute. So, I mean, maybe the side of Insomnia look for some sort of trade, but I definitely think they should be looking to deny that Infernal Soul. It's so hard, right? Because you can't fight them straight up 5v5, so what do you give up? What do you take? And that's definitely the question that's on Insomnia's mind.
The biggest thing that I can think of for Insomnia to do at this point is maybe try to threaten Baron, but I mean, we talked about it in the draft, even how little damage this blue side squad has, and with how oppressed and repressed they have been here in this game that has gone on for 22.5 minutes, it hasn't gotten any better, right? Sure, they have a little bit of damage. Sure, most of their members have completed maybe 1 to 2 items, but that's not enough to destroy this new and improved Baron in Season 14. This objective is no longer something you can burn down as a simple convenience. It is an actual boss mob. And so it makes these trades that much harder to go for. It really makes these Baron threatens that much harder to go for if you are Insomnia. So I think the best thing that they can look for is maybe to push down the mid lane, hope to get this mid turret, maybe get an objective bounty in their hands. But yeah, Drake, it is looking real doom and gloom here for the side of Insomnia so far, as Gentle Hearts Gaming just have complete control of the map.
Yeah, and it's been that way the entire game, right? Gentle Hearts Gaming have just had complete control over not only neutral objectives, but also just the macro of the game, right? And that obviously comes down to a little bit to vision, but it just massive cataclysm. Tosh is just deleted. Looks like Simple BD finds a pin onto the way. He does finally end up getting deleted, but at what cost? It looks like the Poppy is deleted right afterwards. Malphite will be able to find enough damage onto the Karma, but it will be a dead Rock, a dead Huto, and a full-on ace for the side of Gentle Hearts Gaming.
They committed so many resources to Goodest ADC. They finally got the Hui. Mission accomplished. But like you said, Drake, at what cost? Their whole team gets completely melted. Afro on this Tristana now has 2 items. Navori Quickblade acquired. Runs through the squad of Insomnia. They will get the soul. And that is all but game here, as Gentle Hearts Gaming, all they have left to do is destroy the Nexus. As Afro just gonna pick up a kill for his Tush even looking at him wrong.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely well played by Gentle Heart, right? But it is just kind of a result of the state of the game, right? Afro is able to just turn on this Poppy as well. I mean, it's just showing us just how far ahead Gentle Heart are. They were on the back foot of that fight. They lost 2 of their damage dealers, if we're talking about Hui and Karma as damage dealers. And it was just a 3v5, and Tristana and Silas were able to kill literally the entire enemy team with their Jarvan at their backs. So it is just a very, very dire position for Insomnia to be in. Now 13 kills down, Dragon Soul secured by Gentle Hearts. I think we might know where this game is heading, but Insomnia have a couple of options, right? Steal the Baron, which is nearly impossible to do, and somehow stop the shoving potential and poke from the enemy team.
I mean, it is a little bit more possible to do when you have a champion like Poppy who can simply ult the Jarvan out of the pit, but it looks like they might not even get that chance as Gentle Hearts Gaming are continuing their pursuit, trying to get any kind of damage they can. They're just continuing to constrict Insomnia, but they're going in onto Afro.
They actually found a kill! They got a kill onto Tristana! I mean, that does mean that the Baron is literally unsecurable by Gentle Hearts for at least the next 40 seconds. Big flash away from Tosh. Oh, Malphite ults into the backline onto one member. It looks like it is a flash away from Hwei, sorry. A knock up onto 2-buff Patty. He is taking quite a bit of damage. Senna finally able to auto from 2 screens away, but he is very, very low. Drakash has to get away from Narnia, gets a double kill. And Fake Smile is not fake smiling anymore. Tosh, you are an enchanter, but Karma is Karma, and Hwei gets a triple kill. Is this going to be the end of the game? TP is still available by Afro. I think it might actually be an endgame angle.
Yup, a triple kill for the 3-0 team. 1, 2, 3. And they're looking to add a 4th series record to their name as they push down into the bot lane of Insomnia. Complete domination from Gentle Hearts Gaming. They will TP to keep the wave alive. There's no hope for Insomnia now. They will be defeated in game 1 as Gentle Hearts Gaming full steam ahead into this series. They're looking to go undefeated in the Risen Dominate League.
And much, much deserved is that unbeatable record at the moment. And they're, like you said, definitely worthy of seeking that. Based on this game, right? It is a series, after all. And I mean, Insomnia had points that I think we definitely could build on. They maybe drafted a little bit too much towards the late game, right? They had moments in lanes where maybe they were winning out. Obviously, we saw Hyuto doing absolute God's work in the mid lane against that Tristana, right? So definitely something that we can look towards. Maybe a strong suit for Insomnia in that next draft if we maybe opt for maybe a winning lane in that mid lane. But how difficult is that when obviously there's 3 champions that could have gone mid in the Hwei, Karma, and Tristana in the last draft? So it's definitely a case for solving what Gentle Hearts Gaming have brought to the table and solving these next drafts moving forward. But yeah, Gentle Hearts Gaming coming in with a really strong performance.
And I think it speaks volumes to just the level of play that Gentle Hearts Gaming played at in that game 1. When they give up 6 grubs and they don't even manage to really get a tower taken away from them, I think that just speaks to how aggressive this squad wants to play. So I think that if Insomnia, if they want a chance at tying up this series, if they don't want to get too owed by Gentle Hearts, they need to look for some aggression of their own, not just to get stomped over into the early game. They need to make use of the objectives that they can find, that they can get, try to create some priority, maybe even try to pressure 2-Puff Patty, who was frankly able to just run around the entire jungle. It wasn't 2 quadrants to 2 quadrants for these junglers. It was 4 quadrants to 0, as it felt like simply BD was just completely locked out of his jungle from a minute number 1 until the end of the game. So I really want to see some aggression. Try to fight fire with fire here in game number 2, because I really think that that's the only way that Gentle Hearts Gaming are going to fall and for you to tie up the series. You need to try and match that aggression.
I mean, you definitely do. I 100% agree. And even if it wasn't intentionally a J4 pun, this champion was, like we said, just standing menacingly in the bottom lane, perma, and Poppy had to step up. You were literally just unable to do anything, and obviously Senna, a champion that's supposed to be outranging enemy opponents, was zoned off of like 13 waves in that bottom lane. So definitely
probably more than that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even want to know, man. It's actually just nightmare. But Insomnia definitely want to be able to shore up their defenses towards that bottom lane, shore up maybe that aggression in the mid lane, and maybe get the top lane playing around a little bit. You know, Malphite was winning that lane for the first 6 levels, so maybe we put him on something a little bit more aggressive. Maybe we're able to get some sort of lead in that top side as well. Obviously, grubs were secured every single time by Insomnia, so there is that top lane aggression. Maybe take away the enemy top lane, maybe get them out of the game. I don't know. But they have stuff to look for. They have stuff that they can build around, and they definitely have a way to take it back from Gentle Hearts Gaming in this second game of this best of 3 series. here in Risen Dominate Week 4. We will be right back, where we will bring you guys the draft and just the next game between these two teams. I'm so excited. Quacks, it's been great. We'll be right back after a very short break, guys. Hello, everybody. My name is Drake. I'm joined by Quacks once again. And obviously, we were only gone for a short break, but if you guys forgot, we're here in Risen Dominate Week 4, where Gentle Hearts Gaming did win the first game in this best of 3 series against Insomnia, looking to make themselves undefeated for sure in the first 4 weeks of this Risen Dominate spring season. Quacks, how excited are we? Yeah. How excited are we to be watching this next game? Gentle Hearts Gaming is going to be on the left, right? They're going to be on the blue side. Any thoughts, theories for draft moving ahead? What does Insomnia need to look out for?
I mean, Insomnia definitely just needs to look out for some of these mid jungle pairings, right? We talked a little bit about it in the draft of game number 1, but just how potent this mid jungle duo of Gentle Hearts Gaming is. No Puff Patty is able to run around the entire map if he's given, these picks that allow him to really pull his mid laner whenever he really so chooses. It makes these 2v2s incredibly hard to play for any team going against it. So target that mid lane, target that jungle. In particular, Gentle Hearts Gaming, they didn't pick jungle until the second phase of the game, and I feel like we didn't see nearly enough jungle bans coming out from Insomnia, really to punish some of that over aggressive playstyle that they wanted to go for. Really knock that down a peg. He was given a champion like Jarvan, who loves to go in early, right? It's a little bit more of a
Yeah.
facilitator role late game, so it's not something like a Graves and Nidalee that we've seen from No Puff Patty before, but it still gets the exact same thing done. And as we move on into draft here, I'm really looking for Gentle Hearts Gaming to, sort of just do the exact same thing. The way they played game number
I
1
mean, it worked,
was,
man.
yeah, I mean, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Meanwhile, Insomnia, they need to ban away some of these more aggressive picks, and they are starting out with an Evelyn ban.
I mean, yeah, ban away aggression, ban away whatever Tupa Patty wants to play or even has played, ever played, seen him maybe touch, breathe on the Rift. That's what you need to ban away.
Yeah.
And two of them are gone. And AP champions are very, I would say, they influence the map a lot when they are picked in the jungle. So good to see that two of those are taken away. Karthus obviously banned last time. Tristana also going to be one that they opted for. They said, you know what, Tupa Patty isn't the only issue. Even though we did outlane the Tristana, we need to ban it because that champion is just too AIDS.
Yeah, absolutely. The Tristana provided a lot of priority for that jungler to go wherever he pleased and really just put a cap on that Orianna as well. You talked about it. The Orianna fought back a little bit in the early game, but eventually this Tristana got 1 to 2 to 3 items and just eventually took over the game, solo killing the Orianna over and over again. So they want to avoid stuff like that here in game number 2, which is a wise decision. You know what else is a wise decision, Drake, is this B1 Karma coming out from
Uh,
Gentle Hearts game. I love to see this.
it's absolutely horrible that Insomnia obviously identified one problem, but you can't literally patch all of the bleeding. When it comes to GHD, they had a lot of very strong picks in the last game. Obviously, they are denying the Hui, which looks very good.
Hmm.
But Hui Seraphine as well, obviously a very good wombo combo at the moment. But Karma is just, I feel like she was very influential last game. She's influential in every game that I see her in. This champion is broken. Arguably more of an issue than Tristana in that last game, obviously because of the flex potential as well. Kog'Maw has to be a troll. I don't believe it. There's no way.
I mean,
Okay.
Kog'Maw could be good. Terminus did just get changed, so I wouldn't say it's a troll pick because Terminus as an item is so good, really good with mixed damage champions like the Kog'Maw. But instead, they are going to get the Zeri. Zeri Karma is a really lethal lane. So I'm wondering here if Gentle Hearts, if they just pick a jungle, or if they go to doing what they did last game, picking up that mid lane and just giving this karma away, telling us where it is. I feel like picking jungle would be a really wise choice here, but maybe they don't want to give that up until they have more full picture of what Insomnia are going.
Oh,
And
they
that
got it.
will be the Vi pickup. This is actually really good because it denies it away from an Insomnia. Vi is a really good champion in Tazeri, just being able to get that cease and desist. It doesn't matter how many walls you jump over, that will follow you to the ends of time. So I really like this denial from Gentle Hearts Gaming and just picking this one up, especially against these immobile champions like Hui and Seraphine.
Bel'Veth. That's an
Yeah.
interesting pickup from Insomnia. Obviously, we were talking about the aggression coming out from GHG, but Insomnia finally responding with a little bit of aggression themselves. Bel'Veth is one of those champions that prefers to scale up, but in the meta at the moment, she's been doing very, very well.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see a little bit of aggression coming out from Insomnia. Maybe they dropped a little bit more early game index into that in their mid lane as well, as we do see a couple of top lane bans coming out. The Udyr coming out against GHD like I thought it was last game, and does look like the Aatrox is banned in return. I think that's an Aatrox. I'm blind. But even mentioning like the Vi wombo combo with Seraphine as well, taking that away is so important.
Yeah.
Obviously, if Vi does ult any champion, Seraphine cannot miss her ult, cannot miss the crescendo, or wait, encore? Can't
Encore.
miss the ultimate.
Cres-
Yeah, can't miss the ultimate.
Crescendo is
Crescendo
Sona.
Sona. Same champion, let's be honest, but it does look like Orin got banned away. Which is interesting because I would have liked to see that maybe with the Seraphine, but Malphite also banned away on the other side. So a lot of similar themes coming out from these two teams. Ban the top laners, man. Their champion pool should be Cassante and Renekton now, right?
Yeah, I feel like Cassante, Renekton, those are also available, but really, I think Gentle Hearts Gaming might benefit from maybe something like a Talia here. I think could be really good, especially when it comes to denying that Bel'Veth any sort of movement going to Gentle Hearts Gaming's
And
team.
it's
And it also
Nautilus.
makes yeah, and it makes that 2v2 all the stronger. Nautilus, like you said, locked in for Insomnia, and Gentle Hearts Gaming potentially looking for the Azir here. The champion has had a lot of talk recently, Drake. I don't know how much you've been keeping up with the LCK,
Champion's
but we
broken,
have
man.
seen we have seen the tank Azir build with Grasp of the Undying come through. I wonder if this is locked in, if that is what Gentle Hearts Gaming are going to index into. But
And
we'll
it's
have to wait
interesting
to
as well.
see.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it does get locked in, and obviously we will have to wait and see what he ends up um, building. But this means a lot for a lot of other champions as well. Like Diana, I was experimenting with, like obviously known for tank builds, really good with it at the moment as well. So
Mhm.
obviously we do have to see a top laner get locked in, and they only have 2 seconds. They're blinding. I feel like okay, Zach.
Oh, I
That's an
like
interesting one.
that.
That's an interesting one. I do like a Zach pick. I will
Trundle.
be honest.
Trundle. If
Trundle, no
Insomnia
way,
lock
no
in
way.
Trundle, this completely destroys Zac. This is an amazing pickup, I would feel, for Insomnia. It also makes it a lot easier to pick off people with Nautilus and Trundle being able to sort of link their pillar and their hook together. I feel like this would be a really good pick. And we talked about it. We wanted to see more aggression in the top lane, right? We wanted to see that sort of really, really strong point come to fruition from Insomnia. But instead, we're going to do the complete opposite of pick Trundle, and we are going to go with the Nasus here. So a scaling pickup for Insomnia.
Okay, man.
Seems like that is the name of the game for this comp, is scaling.
I mean, they didn't fully ignore you when you said Trundle, right? They heard Trundle and they said, trolling. We can do that. We can do that. We can
True.
lock in Nasus. We can troll, perhaps. Or maybe Nasus is turbo broken in this draft. I don't know. Obviously, Zeri hates Nasus. The Wither is
Yeah.
so broken on Zeri.
Yeah.
Like, Azir as well, right? He is going to be building maybe tank, and then his attack speed is really, really hurt by Wither, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, Vi does not like it, and maybe he's able to survive Zac lane. Maybe we don't know, but the sustain could be enough that he's just able to free farm. So, it could be a really, really good pickup here. We'll have to see how it operates when we get through the draft fully and when we finally get onto the Rift. But I'm definitely liking what I'm seeing from Insomnia. They said standard didn't work. We picked standard. They
Mhm.
picked crazy. Maybe we need to go crazy. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, I certainly think that Nasus has, a little bit of synergy with the rest of Insomnia. In particular, you have a really good 4-1 split with the Nasus being able to simply side lane. It keeps a champion like Zac, who really is, unless Azir goes tank, really is the only source of frontline here for Gentle Hearts Gaming. They need the Zac in these later fights, but what's Zac gonna do? Is he gonna give up 2 towers, or is he gonna hope to maybe win a fight? So I feel like this does put Gentle Hearts Gaming in a little bit of a pickle, but like last game, like the last comp we saw from Insomnia in game one, it is all about getting to that point where you can spike. In Gentle Hearts Gaming, with their unrelenting aggression, their wants and their needs to go for blood in the early game, I feel like getting to that point could prove to be difficult, but we'll have to see how Insomnia play it out. But before we see that, we are going to go to a small little break while we wait for the teams and the spectator delay to catch up to us. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back with more Gentle Hearts Gaming versus Insomnia for game number 2. We'll see you guys soon.
7, 8, 9. Oh, okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Risen Dominate Week 4. I'm joined by Quacks, and we're here. You know, it's gonna be GHG on our left side, Insomnia on our right, and Insomnia looking to get one back from GHG. Currently winless, like we've said so many times, in this season, and currently winless in the series. So Insomnia definitely have a lot of ground to make up, but they have a Nasus on their team. Quacks, are we excited for this one?
I mean, I'm certainly excited to see what the Nasus is going to signify for Insomnia in terms of this Bel'Veth lane priority. We've talked a little bit about it in the draft, but Bel'Veth is a champion that, you know, wants to skirmish, wants to scrap, sort of a snowballing champion, if you will. That's definitely what I would use to describe Bel'Veth. As a Simply BD gonna take a little bit of a trade. He's gonna slap him. He's the slap that smiles back, and then he's gonna go away. But yeah, Bel'Veth wanting to get those grubs. I'm really curious to see how the priority is going to shape up to look in top lane, and if Simply BD can go for some of those grubs, because usually it's not the first 3 grubs that Bel'Veth really wants, it's those respawned ones that you can get when Bel'Veth does have level 6 and can get that true form. So at around that time, at around that 10-minute mark, I'm really gonna look to see how Insomnia roam around the map and try to get this Bel'Veth her true form and snowball this pick as much as possible.
Yeah, that's definitely where our eyes are going to be, despite us maybe saying that our eyes should be around the mid lane. But obviously, there are going to be some sort of focus towards this lane. We were hoping that Azir would be going that grasp build, but it does look like it is going to be a fleet footwork option for the Afro in the mid lane. So sadly, we will not be seeing tank Azir in this game. But I think obviously we were talking about the impact of focusing towards this bottom lane, and that is affected by the pathing. And we see Bel'Veth pathing hopefully towards bot lane after farming those first 3 top camps, maybe invading with that red buff, unsure. But Vi is pathing towards the top side, so maybe going to be focusing on getting that Nasus behind him.
I mean, there is definitely a possibility for Simply BD to look for a top lane gank here, but it really feels difficult, especially against a champion like Zac. And yeah, it looks like he's just going to pivot down toward that bot lane, saying, forget top lane, we can't really make anything work with this. Doesn't have priority in any side lane either, so I feel like an invade would not be the move here. Instead, it feels like he's just locked to go back to the bot lane, and looks like he might try to look for a mid gank, but this is hard. It's Azir.
He landed the knock up. The play didn't land anything though, so it will just be a walk away. But you know, that's what I call a poke gank. We got the enemy laner low, and we did our job. We jungled. Congrats.
Yeah, a little bit of damage onto the Azir, but my big worry is that it is going to be you're going into a fleet footwork Azir, so we'll be able to heal that one up given enough time. And now Bel'Veth has basically revealed her hand. The team of Gentle Hearts Gaming, they saw the 12 CS, they saw the red buff, so they know that that top side is completely taken away. So now there's only one place Bel'Veth could be, right? Bot side. So now really nothing that this Bel'Veth can do to move around the map. You can see has priority in the bot lane, so probably just going to look to do a full clear. And on the other side, you can see 2Puff Patty completing his full clear. They might be looking for a gank in the top lane.
Win with a smile, looking to win with a smile. He has 2Puff Patty in the top lane. Only Poppy doesn't have flash, but Ghost would definitely get his way out of that one. So not going to be any sort of hope in that top lane, but at least we're trying.
Another poke gank, if you want to call it.
We didn't poke them, but you know, we got the enemy top laners to fight each other, and that's a successful gank in my book.
Absolutely, I definitely agree. Just denying Nasus as many stacks as possible. This top side of Insomnia is definitely where you want the pressure to be if you're Gentle Hearts Gaming.
Nautilus does land on a Big Smile. The knock up. Big Smile doesn't flash perfectly. There will be a kill secured by Simply BD in this bottom lane by GHG, by Insomnia actually. Really well played.
But on the other side, you can see that 2Puff Patty looking for a gank, going to miss the Q, just get withered away. And that is the power of Nasus. They expend the Ghost, so that is a major summoner.
Oh,
but,
he missed the hook. The root.
Just gonna jump over.
Land, but yeah, we're playing Zeri. Really? I mean, surely only Poppy is not allowed to walk up like this, right? I mean, he doesn't have Ghost. Win with the Smile has Flash. Gonna let him walk away. I guess we're a little bit afraid of Nasus, and Bel'Veth is doing exactly what we saw the J4 do in the last game. Win with the Smile landed the Q. The E should be free. The W. He lands the E. He picks up his blob. He should have W up soon. The flash forward, the W, it's a kill. Win with a smile, winning in the top lane, bringing the kills back to even.
And only Pappy, I mean, you could tell he wanted to stay in that lane. His wave was in a really bad spot. There was a chance for Win with a Smile to simply go for a freeze there, which is not something you want to have happen to you if you're the Nasus. Or if you're just the top lane in general, you don't like getting frozen on, but it's really important as Nasus to break those kinds of freezes, and it's hard when you don't have a lot of AoE damage. Your E doesn't really deal a ton of damage at those first couple of levels, so really greeds to try and break that freeze, pays the price, and Win with a Smile up a lot of gold here now as no summoners in the top lane. This has to be the place where 2Puff Patty is looking to go for next.
Yeah, it does look like he's up here. He is a level up on Simply BD. The E forward does land, and it will be a kill secured. Win with a Smile, getting a second kill under his belt, putting his team on his back, and it looks like Grubs will be joining them on his back as well.
Yup, the chicken nuggets are on the menu for Gentle Hearts Gaming. Insomnia managing to pick up one grub, so not the end of the world, but they do deny a lot of pressure that is being exerted in some of these lanes by Insomnia. Just making sure that the plates are denied as the game continues. And yeah, no true form for Belveth, still at level 4. Again, really gonna look for those respawned grubs. But until then, I would yeah, this lane looks unplayable for only Pappy.
Unplayable. It's actually so unplayable. Really,
Yeah.
I mean, the Zac pick, we were talking about it being good. It's definitely coming online.
Yeah, I mean, that's the power of the percent health damage. You have a health stacker like Nasus against you. You're only going to be doing more damage to this pick as the game goes on. All in all, this felt like a real, again, we talked and had our doubts about this Nasus pick in the draft, and this is why, right? Every single trade is going the way of this Zac. This Nasus is really getting denied the ability to walk up and get those stacks. And with how Gentle Hearts are gaming and playing, I would expect that trend to sort of continue as this Nasus is just being continuously constricted from getting this farm. Even more so now as Win with a Smile really taking this Nasus low. 1 bar of health remains for this top lane pick, and he's forced to ult.
Yeah, and obviously the wave is going to push under his turret. I don't think there's dive potential.
There is. 2Puff Patty has 6. He's making his way up top lane.
Yeah. That's a good point. It is a 2v1. It's not a 1v1. Win with a Smile just needs to take. He does end up landing the E. The Q comes out from by the ultimate just to be sure. Tanking the turret for max range. Should be a kill picked up by Vi. Not quite. And in the mid lane, obviously, we see Afro duking it out with Hugo. Zac docked to the turret, and Vi still hasn't got the kill. Guys, what's going on? Simply BD gonna maybe pick up a kill here.
Wait, he took a tower shot!
Win with a Smile. He messed up and he dies for it. Vi didn't even get the kill. And it's all okay. That's his.
Oh my
no
God.
way he executes. Insomnia coming up massive in game 2.
Insomnia managed to get a kill, and only Pappy manages to run away long enough to expend the kill timer onto 2Puff Patty. But Afro is potentially going in 1v2 on the Azir.
Yeah, surely. I mean, I guess Hugo doesn't have any mana, but it ignites enough to secure that kill, and you know what? Hugo doesn't need mana. Tosh has got that kill under his own belt, pulling a little bit of a carrier in the mid lane.
And suddenly, we went from a Gentle Hearts Gaming game where they were ahead to now them making mistakes across the board. Insomnia punishing this over-aggression from Gentle Hearts Gaming. What happened to Drake? They were doing so well.
I have a theory, all right? Insomnia has one benefit. You're never asleep. And Gentle Hearts Gamer might have fallen asleep at their keyboards. I don't know. That's all I got. But definitely a couple of misplays coming out from the side of GHG, and not what we're used to seeing from them. But obviously they won game 1. You can see Zac is not really too concerned about the fact that they lost that fight earlier. Still winning the trades. But yeah, maybe just a little bit of overconfidence. We'll have to see as GHG do have a couple of objectives coming up very shortly.
We'll fight the top lane.
Is he just... No, wait, this is just a solo kill angle. He's definitely doing more damage than the Nasus is with an ultimate, so I have a feeling. Oh, only Puppy gets the kill. Win with a Smile is not smiling right now. He's not even winning. He's losing. He's losing to Nasus. We didn't know. We just didn't know. We didn't know about level 8 no mana Nasus and how broken it is in Disaster. That's our issue here.
Only Pappy, he manages to get the kill. So many stacks going to go over to the way of Nasus now, and now he could potentially look to shove this wave out, and this could be the time where Insomnia, they look toward those respawning grubs. But it looks like Win with a Smile wants to kill. He flashes for it.
Ult. He still has the E and the W. Well, one of the W's. Yeah, it looks like he'll just pick up that kill. And I mean, Karma and Vi snuck towards that top side, but it does look like 3 members of Insomnia are here to fight those grubs. They are a little bit outnumbered if Zac decides to move, but they're here early. Nautilus does find the Q. Simply Pappy is simply deleted. Looks like Tosh will not be able to save his jungler though. Qto falls as well. Cash found in a very precarious situation. He has no way out. The flash is enough. Good to see flashes forward, gets the Q. Tosh dies on the opposite side, and it's a quadra kill for the side of GHG.
GHG, they managed to win out the fight. Simply BD. I don't know if he just didn't think that there were that many members into that bush, but he goes way too far. Doesn't even have time to pop the E at any meaningful moment. So the Bel'Veth just goes down before the fight even begins. And now, with all of the members just respawning, that is going to be 3 grubs going over to the way of Gentle Hearts Gaming. You can see Simply BD, he wants some action on those grubs, but they are already gone. True form denied away from the Bel'Veth. And Gentle Hearts Gaming, they had a couple of blunders, but they were saying those were just blunders. We are here to play, and we are here to win as they strike back in that team fight.
Yeah, 5 grubs. Obviously, we've seen a track record of grubs so far in this series. And that's the fact that dragons are just better, apparently. 6 grubs didn't win Insomnia the game last game. Yuto is a little bit of a contender. Afro won't be able to find any more follow-up. But yeah, obviously, GHG won last game. They didn't have 6 grubs. GHG has 5 grubs this game. If that is a pattern that's worth noting, there is a chance. Okay, Tosh, that Q just looked like it should have landed, but it didn't. 2-buff Patty is finding himself in a little bit of danger. The Ignite's on him, but he's just walking his way out. Bel'Veth gets knocked by the Stream of Shuffle. Looks like Nasus is here to play. I'm not sure when he got there. The TP comes through. Looks like Bel'Veth gets a kill into Azir, has the ultimate, a knock up on the Zac. Is he healing enough to live through this one? Bel'Veth finds the kill, but she ends up dying. Nasus, sorry, in the middle of 3, finds random kill onto 2-buff Fatty, but there are enough members. Zeri gets a triple kill, and that's not where you want the kills to be allocated.
Absolutely, 5 kills onto the Zeri. Goodest ADC, a monster performance on the Hui, and he's showing his flexibility here in game number 2, pivoting to this Zeri pick every single fight, immaculate positioning, and he is quite literally running away at lightning speed here with game number 2.
Yeah, not even to mention the static, right? That was a double pun, and I don't even know how you pulled that off. But yeah, Tosh has no way into this one, I guess. Bel'Veth is actually up, and a couple of resets coming out. Zeri has to get off the map, so maybe it will actually be a second dragon secured by the side of Insomnia. It does look like they just have a man advantage in this bottom lane, but maybe they don't know. Yeah, looks like they are unaware, so they haven't started up the dragon just yet. And I'd have to assume that the game state at the moment, GHG can fight any neutral objective they want, and they should win.
I mean, there is that, right? But they don't have the Zac this time. The teleport is still unavailable here for Win with a Smile. So if a fight breaks out, you're missing out on a lot of frontline here. But you want to know who else is missing out on frontline? Without the Nasus, Insomnia doesn't really have a tank. So yeah, I would expect, like you said, Drake, Gentle Hearts Gaming, if they look for any neutral objective fights, they are most likely going to be the ones coming out on top. Insomnia, though, hoping to get maybe a little bit of an edge here as they are just stacking in this bush, hoping that someone face checks.
There's so many question mark things coming out from the blue side. You know that GHG knows something's up. They actually pinged the bush exactly.
Well, they see Seraphine.
And it looks like, yeah, Seraphine could be getting caught by... Wait, Nautilus surely doesn't find himself in a rough situation here, right? Fake Smile gets the root. Tosh is able to walk his way out of that one. And it just looks like it's Insomnia constantly looking for something, but they just kind of lose if they actually approach the enemy team. So GHG is walking through the enemy flanks and getting out scotch-free. Yuto taking a bit of damage in the mid lane, and it doesn't even look like GHG wants the dragon. They're just looking for the fight. Tosh taking a lot of damage, has to walk away. The front line that we were talking about is nearly under half HP at this point, and I think that just means it's a free dragon for GHG.
Yeah, GHG, they steal away the dragon. There really is no way for Insomnia to contest. They got pushed off into their bot lane earlier on when they were looking for Seraphine.
Oh, big Shuriken shuffle! Yuto has no way out, no flash available. Karma picks that one up for herself. Big smile, once again getting a kill on this Karma, showing us just how impressive it actually is. And Afro, massive ultimate coming out from him.
Yeah, some cool little mechanics there from the Azir. No matter how many times we see the Shuriken shuffle, it never looks any less cool, I'm gonna be honest. Azir is definitely one of those champions that, at least in my mind, I could go for watching Azir for a while. When that champion is out of meta, you know, it's out of meta, but when it's in meta, I never really get sick of watching it. Unlike champions like Zeri, who are under threat.
Yep, she got Nautilus ulted, she got Seraphine ulted, she's not dead yet, she's just healing through it all. Ignite doesn't do anything to her. Tosh is dead, a double kill for Zerian. Once again, with goodest ADC, call the ambulance, but not for him, man.
Yep, but now it might be Win with a Smile in trouble here. You can see Simply BD on this top side on the Bel'Veth.
And does he find his way out? Nope, not yet. The ultimate does dissuade a little bit. Fake Smile is here, and so is 2-Buff Batty. It looks like you're just outnumbered on both sides of the map. Vi gets an assist, Karma gets the kill, a second kill for her. Zach picks up another one. Win with a Smile, very, very happy about that one. And once again, it is just GHG looking like they're down and out in a lane, in a position, and they're just never outnumbered. They're always there.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Karma down.
Flash forward. Win with a Smile gets another kill under his belt. This slime is absolutely popping off in this game. Vi is going to be picking up that Rift Herald on the opposite side, not to mention the Azir in the bottom lane picking up turrets. And gonna say you see in the mid lane picking up turrets. Just everywhere we look, GHG is on top.
GHG, you said it, Drake. GHG, they are just everywhere on the map. They are getting so many resources. Rift Herald acquired, and they have sent 2 members of Insomnia to this top lane, maybe to try and stop this Herald, but at the cost of their bot tower. Afro pushing away, manages to get that tier 2 tower in the process. Now with the Herald, probably going to use that to look for the mid lane, or potentially they could look to save this Herald up until around that 19-minute marker, around the time it's going to run out, and look to use that to pressure a Baron take, because at this point, GHG, they're 8k gold up. We're only 17.5 minutes in. They could force a fight on this Baron, and with no true form on the Bel'Veth, that means she can't go over the wall. So if they can burn that flash, if they can look to burn that summoner spell from Bel'Veth, she basically has to suicide to try and get this Baron that she might not even get. And if she dies for it or doesn't get it, that's Baron for you, and you could just end the game.
Yeah, it's definitely a potential, and I mean, to make that look even more enticing, right, the Dragons should be spawning around that time as well. So they could drop the Rift Herald bot, Dragon's gonna be spawning soon. Yeah, guys, just go get those 2 objectives defended, and we all look towards the Baron. But it looks like only Poppy is finding himself in the middle of 3 members of GHG, just gets deleted. Yeah, it's just Nasus at this stage in the game when his area is turbo fed and they have Karma. Have fun playing the game, I guess.
Afro's
Encore, it does land. The E lands as well. He's rooted, he's stunned. He can't quite move. Afro gonna go down. Huto getting another kill under his belt. Quay is looking good in both of these games. That's all I'm saying.
They managed to get a kill in the mid lane, but now the Rift Herald has been popped into the top lane. They have to rotate up. They can't push out the mid lane. They have to defend their base. But on the other side, you can see Win with a Smile. He's in the bot lane. He's pushing as well. Such good resource allocation here coming out from GHG. They are doing really good splits with their carries and just making Insomnia split themselves even further and thinner to try and deal with these threats. And now Win with a Smile, he's just gonna walk away. No harm done. This Seraphine can only sing a sad tune as Insomnia are just completely out of this game. Really have to pray on a miracle to get back in at this point.
Yeah, they definitely do. And I mean, like you said, that Seraphine looked like she was just hitting pebbles. Zach was not taking any damage, and I don't think it's going to get any better, as it does look like he picked up that Thornmail and Sunfire fully completed now with the tabbies. He's not taking any damage in this game. And that's not something we really mentioned in this draft, the damage profile between these 2 teams, but if Nasus isn't ahead, if Bel'Veth isn't turbo ahead, Hwei and Seraphine aren't going to be doing that much damage either.
No.
It is very hard for Insomnia to be doing damage in this game. They obviously have a little bit of a combination play with Nautilus ult, Seraphine ult, and looks like they're going to be looking for something on this 3rd dragon again, just like last game. But once again, I'm not sure it's entirely what they should be looking for.
They're looking for the dragon, and I mean, you can tell Insomnia, they want to look for the fight, they want to look for the skirmish, but they are just completely locked out of this part of the map.
And they just lose, don't they? I mean, Good ADC is so
Yeah.
ahead. Zach is the biggest frontline you could ever imagine at this point in the game. Simply because he's
Basically-
getting zoned off his blue buff on Dragon Spawn. I don't know.
I really feel like Gentle Hearts Gaming should just force a Baron play here. They have double TP. Afro going in for a fight, though.
Bro, the Stream Shovel missed. The ultimate from Seraphine comes out, and he's just deleted. A little bit of a misstep. Again, literally the same exact pixel-perfect location that he died last time. But Astura's still up, so they still pressure on the map, and looks like Vi's gonna look for something on this PPD.
Looking for something on the
lock
Vi,
up.
but the Vi's going in.
Vi looks in the back, doesn't quite get any follow-up damage. Zach over the wall, Karma gets the kill on the Bel'Veth. Tosh is trying to play frontline, but he just gets deleted. His Seraphine died first. What's going on? The flash forward from Zeri. The Nasus is dead, and it's nearly an ace for the side of GHG at 21 minutes in this game.
GHG win out in the fight, and with almost no members from Insomnia up, they just throw themselves on to the Baron. GHG, they had a couple of hiccups in this game, but they are going to cement themselves as one of the top dogs in the league. Coming into playoffs, which are just in a couple of weeks, a lot of teams got to be looking at this series, at this game, and fearing the name Gentle Hearts Gaming. They pick up the Baron, and now with the splits and the sort of 1-3-1 style they've been going for the entire game, it just feels like it is completely locked out of the realm of possibility for Insomnia to pick up this win, and it is almost most certainly Gentle Hearts Gaming taking the 2-0 here in week number 4.
Yeah, only one more week left of the regular season, right? We're going to get into groups directly after next week. So this is going to be our last series recast with you guys until the group stages. But yeah, Gentle Hearts Gaming showing that they are absolute behemoths in this league, really popping off in this season so far. And with good reason, right? We look at their players. Afro making massive plays with that stream of shuffle. They're
Sometimes
just
they don't go well.
Seraphine ult.
Oh, they're just going.
Zeri, as I was about to talk about the goodness ADC being the best ADC in the league, maybe. He ends up going down, win with the smile, flashes out, 2-buff Patty, ends up dying. Afro caught again in a very similar situation that he was in the last time that he ended up dying, but he doesn't end up going down. And that's 2 kills picked up for free by Insomnia.
Major overstep there from Gentle Hearts Gaming. Got way too hasty to start the fight, and they end up paying the price for it as their ADC, their main source of damage, the Deathless Zeri, worth 1,000 gold, ends up going down. So a lot of gold influx coming out for Insomnia here, but unfortunately, it just doesn't feel like enough at this point. They are still down about 9,000 gold. They really have to hope that Gentle Hearts Gaming go for about 3 more of those mess up plays, and maybe they can take the game in their hands. That's just how ahead Gentle Hearts Gaming are in this game number 2. When you have messes up like that, and it just does not matter.
Yeah, there's definitely a chance of that. But luckily, at least for the side of Insomnia, right, Bel'Veth was the one that got that gold. I mean, Copium, right? But a champion that is able to kind of carry in these team fights if she gets a good setup. So they are hoping that Bel'Veth is able to do something with that gold. But like you said, it is very dire straits for the side of PhD. They're still knocking on the base with Baron at 23 minutes. I mean, it's just so difficult.
Before we have a fight inevitably start, I just want to point out that even production knows that this is going to be a 2-0. You can see the 2 on top of GHG's head as we start a fight.
Oh, Seraphine ult, Tosh ends up getting deleted. The Seraphine ult didn't do anything. The enemy team is just deleted. Insomnia gets deleted. 3 members down, 4 members down. Nasus TP's in for his death. He has no mana, and he's gonna go down. It should be a clean ace for the side of GHG. A clean ace in the series, and a 4-0 track record. And Risen dominates spring season 14.
Gentle Hearts Gaming from start to finish. They dominated the competition. Insomnia go down here to 2-2. And man, what a performance from Gentle Hearts Gaming. A couple of hiccups in game number 1. They gave us a little bit of a scare, but not so much of a scare. It was almost certainly in the bag for them from start to finish. And they proved that they are one of the top teams here in Dominate. When a team like Insomnia, who is the second best team in that division, gets that destroyed, by Gentle Hearts Gaming, that just proves how high caliber this GHG squad is, and they proved it in this series. Huge shout out, honestly, to the ADC, goodest ADC in particular, played this series so unbelievably well. Hui and Zeri both incredible performances. And yeah, I cannot wait to see this team in playoffs. Certainly going to be a team that I think could easily make a finals, if not even a semifinals run when the bracket stage inevitably rolls out here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I could definitely see that happening. And like you mentioned, good ADC showing how high caliber his performances can be on two very different champions, right? Zeri and White play at very different paces, very different ranges, right? So this is a very versatile ADC player. And that's not to detract from obviously his jungler being very, very well oriented with his team, able to coordinate things very, very well. And I don't even want to talk about support because I mean he just played Karma. Let's be honest. No, no, no. He played very well as well. All members of GHG showing that they definitely have a lot of promise. Perhaps something that teams can be looking for against this team, right? There
Yeah.
was some floundering situations in the mid lane occasionally, so maybe there is some sort of Achilles heel for this Titan that is GHG. But they have definitely shown that they deserve to be where they're at 4-0. Most likely, if I had to put a little bit of a prediction in advance, 5-0 for that next week. And it's definitely been a really good time here in Dominate Week 4.
Absolutely. And I guess with nothing else to say, nothing else to comment, a quick 2-0 for GHG. They take the win, they take the series, and they are looking to take the Dominate League by the throat come playoffs. That is going to be it for Drake and I. Thank you all so much for watching week number 4 of the Risen Dominate League here in season 14. And we'll see you guys on the other side in a couple of weeks when playoffs start. So we'll all see you soon. Have a great night.